This is Kenny Clark, and this is Lombardi's Bar.
This is one of my favorite podcasts to do.
I'm just, blessed and thankful to be a part of this podcast. It's a great podcast. It's a great interview.
Maybe I know that you guys, obviously being the best Packers podcast that's out there.
I had Malort this weekend, so I'm not tasting anything.
Oh, good.
He did.
God.
He did. That was fantastic.
Because they said, "Did you ever try Malort?" And I said, "No." And then they said, "Do you want to take a shot of Malort?" I said, "No," but I did.
Wait, who said
It's called
Peer
Todd.
pressure.
Yeah.
I tried to get in a high honors English class once, and they called my parents and were like, "Hey, just tell him he can't do it."
It shows. It really shows.
I hate you guys so much.
I'm going to throw these two guys into the screen so that if I die, they can carry on the legacy of crap that is this show. One, two, three, four. 4 weeks left, gang. 4 weeks left in this Packers season of 2022. Luckily, the bye week was this past week and not the week before, because then I would have had to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, everybody in the car. So come on, let's ride. But we didn't have to do that today. I didn't have to do that and say that, all that stuff. Welcome into Lombardi's Bar, everybody. I'm your bartender, Dan Connick. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Before we get too into it, if you would take a second right now, if you're watching on YouTube, which I hope you are, go on there, subscribe, like, rate, review, get notified every time that we go live here at Game On Wisconsin and Lombardi's Bar. Hello, Emma. Hello, Iowa Joe in the chat. As I mentioned, 4 weeks left here in the Packers season to see what this whole year is going to be worth. What is the outcome of this season? This guy down here in the bottom is itching. I see the fingers going. He's itching to get in here. He's got the munchies to get in and talk about Packers football. It's Todd Varney. Todd, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, no, that was I got something else happening right now, so I was focused on that. But I'm good. I'm good, Dan. How are you? That's the important question. That's what I'm really concerned with. That's actually concern 2 for me right now.
Concern number 2.
Yep. We'll get to one in a minute here, but how are you, Dan?
Toddler. So, infant. He's 11 months. I don't know what you call. I don't know what the cutoff is, but he's sick and it's.
I asked about you, not him.
He is me. He is me. He is him. We are one. We're like the triumvirate over here.
There's got to be somebody else on the show with us tonight, right?
Well, Jimmy decided to stop puking his brains out long enough to come join us.
It was only
Jimmy?
twice. I'm fine.
Hey,
hello.
There is my primary concern. Jimmy, how are you?
Shut up. I'm good.
Good. Glad to hear it, man.
I thought I had the flu, but I think it's just from eating leftover food that's been in the fridge for a couple weeks. Just had to get out.
Weeks?
Yeah, like 2 weeks. It was fine. That was in a box.
What kind of food?
It's like some burger from a restaurant, some mac and cheese, some old French fries, some chicken. Literally just like a bunch of different leftovers from restaurants just in a box, and I ate it. And I puked twice.
I would imagine so. True North, welcome in. Katie, hello. All in the chat there today. Guys, how was your bye week? How did the bye week treat you?
Can we get another one? It was a little short, to be honest.
Todd wants 3 bye weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Are you mad that there's still 4 games left? Like, I feel like you're to the point where you kind of want the season to be over right now. I'm
like, either it needs to be over or they need to go on a run and win the Super Bowl, one or the other. Like, if they're not going to do that, then let's just call it. I've got other shit I can do. Like
watch volleyball, soccer. I never lost.
Volleyball's over now too, and soccer is going to be done on Sunday. So
I never lost so much respect.
Soccer is not done on Sunday, guys. The World Cup is done on Sunday, but soccer isn't done.
Dan, I've let soccer talk happen on this long enough. It is done on Sunday.
Are they finally down to 2 teams?
Well, technically 4 because they're going to play a third place game, which I do love that about the World Cup, that they play a third place game. Like, a lot of tournaments don't do that. So
Because no one gives a fuck.
Olympics, you always have a third place.
Well, yeah, but
in
they don't.
tournaments.
Oh, do they in the tournaments play third place?
Well, that's
I
how
wish-
you get bronze.
I wish like March Madness did it. I wasn't sure.
I
if it was, like,
don't. I do not wish like March Madness did that.
I don't think anyone should. You're going for one winner. It doesn't matter who third place is. Unless it's the Olympics because you have a bronze medal. But
For national things. But college, like, I don't want to see like half of those kids on a team that lose in the Final Four. Once they've lost, like their next idea is I'm done with this. Like this was it. This was all it for me. And then to have them go and like trudge through a third place game that really means nothing. Ew.
All
pride,
third place games.
Dan, have some
nothing.
fucking pride.
My pride sits in my wallet, and just like those kids.
That's one extra game for you to gamble on.
One extra game, and those kids to gamble their health. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the exploitation of college athletes, gentlemen.
Let's not. What's the first segment of the show? Usually,
the first segment is 10 minutes of bullshit.
I know.
We got 3.5 minutes left.
We're 6 minutes in.
No, it was enough. We did soccer talk already. There's 4 teams left. I heard Argentina
and France.
Great. I don't. Okay.
Dan, who are you pulling for?
Yeah, I was gonna say who's like the favorite.
I would say that France is probably the odds-on favorite because of Mbappe and the rest of that offense that France has. Giroud coming out of nowhere and having a resurgence. Who saw that coming?
Not me.
But it's hard to count out King Leo. And I'm pulling for Argentina, baby. I want Leo to get it. I want him to get this and ride off into the sunset of MLS, baby.
I don't know who Leo is.
Lionel Messi?
I know who Messi is. I know who Messi is.
King Leo.
Duh, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you did not know that either.
I know who Messi is.
I know who Messi is.
And I knew who he was talking about because I know Messi's on Argentina. Doesn't take fucking rocket science.
I was pulling for Morocco.
I didn't know.
I really wanted Morocco to get in there. They couldn't pull it out.
I'm surprised Morocco only lost by 2.
I am too.
Like good on them.
And the first goal they gave up was a bit fluky, so I commend them immensely. I will table all the soccer talk moving forward. I've said my piece. We'll talk about it next week. Recap the final.
I'm aware of this, True North, because I've actually been to an MLS game. The Portland Timbers. Stoned out of my mind. My face was melting for part of it, I thought. It was incredible.
You wanted to leave, but didn't think
I
you could
don't
walk?
Well, yeah, I couldn't find my legs didn't work. I couldn't figure out how to get out of the place.
That is the worst.
I don't remember a single bit of soccer from that, but we were in like the crazy fan section is called.
The supporter section there, yeah.
It was like smoke bombs going off and shit. Some dude with a drum. I'm pretty sure a guy had an axe because
they got a chainsaw. Yeah, they have a chainsaw.
They have a chainsaw dude on the field. It was I was way too high for everything that was happening for me to also focus on a soccer game.
That's why you gotta make sure.
But I have no idea.
You can only get high in places that you're comfortable sitting for a very long time. A soccer game's not one of them.
Yeah, in a group setting like that gives
This was when I was like peak pothead though, and I was fine with that situation.
Apparently not.
I want a bed.
I had a good time. I just couldn't focus on soccer as well as there was too many other stimulants in the world. Stimuli?
Stimulant size.
Stimulanati.
Yep.
You want to buy a round? Should we buy a round?
Yeah,
should we get into buy a round?
Love of God, yes.
We got 30 seconds left of.
No, we're good. We did enough. Soccer talk counts as double. So we did 5 minutes of that.
Extra time.
Fucking
Jimmy,
dog years.
Who'd like to buy a round for?
I'm going friend of the show on this one, Romeo Dobbs. He's making his comeback this week against the Rams. I cannot wait to watch Christian Watson and Dobbs on the field together. Obviously, they were a little bit in the beginning of the year, but it seemed that Christian Watson's only job was to do an end around while Dobbs would get some of the target. So I'm pumped. See them on the field at the same time. See what Dobbs has. So I'll buy him a good luck shot going into this game. If we get a touchdown from Dobbs and Watson, I don't care what Todd says. I am buying a Christian Watson jersey and I am hanging it right next to Dobbs.
I am excited about the idea of Dobbs and Watson being on the field together, with Watson being at his full potential like this. The only thing that scares me is like Aaron Rodgers at this point, not even just Aaron Rodgers, this offense at this point always feels like it's like you're dealing with nitroglycerin, and like one little thing that screws up the equilibrium just like fucks it. Like,
but I feel like we're in a good place now to where
I hope so.
You're not taking an injury or anything. You're adding into somebody. So if they've been doing well the last few weeks. The offense has been clicking, and now you're getting a weapon back that Rodgers already has chemistry with.
I hope you're right.
I am right.
I hope. Okay. All right. But yes, I am excited to see both of those two on the field together with Watson finally playing at full capacity.
What's up, baby?
Nick, hope it's the best one you've ever had, buddy. I will I will go next, and I will go a little film noir here with it, and I'm going to buy around for the Detroit Lions, because as much as I love seeing Detroit sports outside of the Tigers bomb in horrendous flames of agony and self-loathing, it was really great to see them not just beat the Vikings and not just cover a spread at home against you would assume as an outmatched opponent, but handle the game. Handled the fraud Minnesota Vikings. And so if that means I have to watch Penei Sewell stumble his way for a 3-yard first down catch,
that was incredible.
I will take that. This week, 1 week only, I will support the Lions, helping the cause of keeping the Vikings out of the number 1 seed.
So where would you put the Lions in the ranking of the NFC right now? Because they seem to be playing much better than the record shows. And I don't know. I was listening to the Athletic podcast, and they had that question out there. And like teams in the NFC that I think are just better than them and will beat them every time: the Eagles, the 49ers, and then maybe the Cowboys. But I don't even think so, because we kick the Cowboys' ass and we suck.
I think I would take the Giants over It's hard to say where you rank, because I think the Lions are playing over their skis a little bit. I think they're playing a little bit better than maybe they should be at times. I think we do have to keep in mind the Vikings were exposed as frauds. They've been exposed as frauds the last couple of weeks now. So a performance like this against the Lions shouldn't quite surprise us anymore, based on what we've seen after the last couple of weeks from this Vikings team. They're not good, and they're going to get exposed at the worst possible time for them, and I will pleasure myself to that.
Okay.
I don't know what to do with that mental image.
Okay.
I'm gonna go here with it. I would imagine a Lions and Cowboys game would be close. The waning minutes of that game, which coach just fucks it up more? Dan Campbell, just having not been there before and being a guy that just always sticks to his guns and fuck it, go for it. Or Mike McCarthy constantly overthinking and also pissing down his pants.
Mike McCarthy would fuck it up.
Yeah,
for sure. I don't think the Lions have nothing to lose, so it'd be way more pressure on the Cowboys.
McCarthy is old school screw up. Dan Campbell's new school. He's new age.
He'll screw it up by going for it on fourth down and not getting it.
Right. He knows
McCarthy will blow it by running it on 4th and 12.
Exactly.
And having to punt. Yep, got it.
Exactly. Yeah. Dan Campbell is the new age of fuck up quarterbacks or coaches.
I think he's great. The stuff he's doing, that fake punt in his own territory, that Penei Sewell play, the man is amazing. I would trade Matt LaFleur for him tomorrow.
Whoa. Hello.
Mainly for entertainment.
That's
Not actual team wise. It would just be really entertaining to see
That's
Dan
the
Campbell.
dumbest thing Jimmy's ever said.
No, I guarantee it's not.
The show is young. The show is young.
You're telling me it would not be entertaining to see Dan Campbell have to deal with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers? Just the two most complete opposite people having to deal with each other?
That's the thing, is it would never happen.
I know, but I'm saying it would be hilarious.
How many conversations realistically do you think Dan Campbell and Jared Goff have had?
Probably a lot, because he's a head coach and he's a starting quarterback.
I would assume Dan kind of just lets the OC just talk.
No.
Jared doesn't.
Dan Campbell
Jared
has
doesn't
to talk
seem
to everybody.
likes to. Jared doesn't seem like a guy that's speaking Dan's language.
Does anyone speak Dan's language
Definitely
other than like
not
a
Jared.
truck dealership?
Definitely not Jared Goff.
That's the thing. Dan Campbell is like the Rosetta Stone. He talks to all languages because it's the baseline coach speak of like, hey brother, how was your weekend? You know, oh, what's that?
That's true.
You know, just talk. He can talk up to anybody about anything, and so that's why, like, yeah, his OC is probably having more in-depth conversations with him. But if you're just saying conversations, Dan Campbell's talking to fucking everybody in that building.
And I would guess that Jared Goff is one of his least favorite people to talk to. So he's probably just the casual, like, hey, Jared, how you doing? And he's like, fuck him up today, right? And he's like, sure, coach, whatever.
Hey, brother.
And then he's like, great. Now I'm going to go talk to people I actually fucking enjoy talking to because that guy's a bummer. Jared Goff just seems like he's like.
No, Jared Goff's a dial tone. That's for sure.
Yeah, like slightly less flavor than white bread.
So like oatmeal?
Yeah, just plain
oatmeal.
Plain oatmeal with just water.
Yeah, no milk.
Yep.
No honey, no peanut butter.
No.
That makes sense. That's a good description. So what's Dan Campbell? Put a food on him. What is he?
Oatmeal with fucking firecrackers in it. Frog legs, but they got him by sticking an M80 in the frog's mouth. That's Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell's like one of those fucked up like hot dogs you see like every year before the baseball season starts. They're like, look at what the Brewers are doing.
look at what
they
the
threw a
sick
whole rack
in
of
the
ribs.
marketing department at this ballpark came up with.
That's
fair.
Yeah. Todd, would you like to buy a round?
I would love to. Mostly because one that I feel like we try to address every episode, but I don't know that we've bought around yet, is for the viewers and for those in the chat. You guys make the show what it is. We have a blast with you guys, so thank you for showing up every week, especially in a season like this where it's just been a bummer. I know we don't always want to show up and talk Packers. A lot of pre-show conversation is like, let's talk about anything except the Packers today. Yeah. And a lot of show conversation is anything but the Packers. So want to thank you guys for showing up. Buy a round for the viewers in the chat. And then also I would like to remind you guys in a couple of weeks, we're going to have voting coming out for season awards.
Jesus Christ.
Show MVP is
You
going
are
to be on there again.
A
So
fucking dude.
just a reminder that's coming up.
I knew something with this. I knew this had to be part of something because there's no way Todd's just gonna start throwing out compliments. Oh,
there's always an angle.
God damn it! I'll start
It'll be
bribing.
his third year in a row.
You vote for me and I'll pay you. I don't even care. Just and like I said with on brand and off topic, anything to get Todd in second place, I'll do.
Why don't we jump to pay the tab?
Start with yours.
Todd pay the tab.
That's fair.
But I'll make Pat McAfee, specifically the Pat McAfee show as a whole.
You son of a bitch.
Pay the tab here. He's a big show, right?
Very large, yes.
Very large. He's got a lot of people working for him. This isn't like he's not on StreamYard, gang. No offense to StreamYard, love StreamYard, but he's not running this shit through StreamYard. He's simulcasting. He's all over the place, right?
Mhm.
You don't have one goddamn guest booker that's talking ahead of time to Aaron Rodgers and checking and making sure, hey, what are you doing Tuesday? You're still in for Tuesday, right? You're going to be flying and you won't be able to make it. Oh, okay, that's fine. Who let Pat McAfee come out there and say Aaron's coming up next, and then 2 minutes later they find out they actually can't get a hold of him because he's on a plane? Pat McAfee, be better. We expect better out of you.
Can I ask you 2 follow-up questions? One,
Please.
were you watching the show?
No.
Second question, were you going to watch his interview?
No.
Okay. Third follow-up question, why do you care then?
It's
Yeah,
about
hold on.
the
All
principle.
All you've had to talk about the McAfee show and Aaron Rodgers being on it for the last 2 years is how you wish he wouldn't do it, how you want him off of there. He finally doesn't do it, and you're mad because there was a communication breakdown between them.
I grew up.
You got your wish. He didn't do the fucking show.
I grew up in the radio biz.
This is pay the tab,
Okay.
not buy around. Are you fucking lost?
I cut my teeth in the hallowed halls of West Hall and BGSU.
This isn't radio. This is a whole different
He
fucking
is
world.
radio. He is radio. He's on a radio schedule.
It's not radio. It's not the radio you
It's
grew up in.
simulcast
Dan.
on radio, though, right?
Not anymore. It's not as serious anymore, I don't think.
Mm.
So what are you going to bitch about now, Dan?
It's still unprofessional.
Oh, because when you turn on McAfee, the first thing you think is, this is a real fucking professional show. The guy's high out of his ass, wearing a tank top and gold
that
chain.
many people,
Real professional.
if you've got that many people, one guy should be there. I fucking hate how this is permeated into the chat.
Speaking of communication breakdowns,
Yeah.
It's not just permeated into the chat.
what were you texting about on January? Who were you texting
It's
with?
permeated into my home life. Kelsey makes January 6th jokes now.
Sorry,
January.
January
6th.
This is my fucking nightmare. I hate it. Pat McAfee, be better. Jimmy, who are you buying around for? Or
pay the tab.
Please pay the tab.
I am actually going to have, I was listening to Pack a Day with Herman on it, one of his morning ones. And he went over, sorry,
this might be my favorite joke that we've started.
Hey, it might not be a joke though. There's always that one chance. I'm having Matt LaFleur pay the tab. I can't look at the chat. Jesus Christ. All right. I had to get it off the screen.
Fucking t-shirts.
Anyways, Matt LaFleur, great head coach, really struggles hiring coordinators. They've gone through, I think Herman said 6 or 7 different coordinators since he's been in there, and we're gonna have another change coming into hopefully we have another change going into next season because we need a new fucking defensive coordinator. But as great as the coach as he is, getting the players, and with that article coming out earlier in the year saying how he shows his trust and respect to the players, one thing he really fucking struggles with is finding coordinators to man the ship a little bit. So I'm hoping he can turn that around, because if we can't get a D coordinator to just do something positive next season, then like LaFleur, it doesn't matter how good of a head coach you are. You got to go and get somebody else in there that can make a better team around them, because we can't keep doing this shitty ass defense or special teams. Who knows? Bisaccia is the answer.
Real question. If Nathaniel Hackett gets fired,
yeah,
do you bring him back? 2 new coordinators?
You think Hackett gets fired?
Yes. They're going to bring Hackett on as like a consultant, because then he'll still get paid from the Broncos, but help the Packers. Because like if you don't get hired on to a team, like as a coordinator or coach, the team that just fired you still has to pay you. So if they're smart, they'll just do that. He can be a consultant. and then just run the whole fucking thing. I don't know if Steno's the guy. Can we demote? Yeah, just demote him back to demote him back to offensive line coach.
I feel like that's one of those conversations where you're just like, hey, Steno, come in here and sit down. And he's like, yeah, things weren't really working out great with me, were they? Can I just go do that again? And they're like, yep. And he's like, cool, see ya.
Yeah, a mutual firing.
Yep. Mutual demotion.
Yeah. Be beautiful.
I don't know. Is there how many more years does Matt LaFleur get with picking bad coordinators that like actively cost games and seasons before he starts getting put on the hot seat? I'm not saying it's right now, or I'm not saying it's close to that, but like, let's say they fire Joe Barry after this year, God willing, and they hire, Joe Schmo for next year. And
let's avoid Joe. Can you give me a different name? I can't hear another Joe and then have positivity around it.
Okay. Matt Pickett. They hire Matt Pickett.
Perfect.
Let's say they hire Pickett.
That's a great hire.
Yeah, I'm on for it. I thought you were going to say Donald Trump, but you didn't, so that's good.
Yep.
Keep going.
Well, he's going to be busy in 2020.
Let's say Pickett. He just
Dan has anything to do with it. Yeah.
Pickett can't just can't make it work. Can't find the pieces to put it together. Right.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Pettin, Barry, Pickett. That's 3 defensive coordinators in a row that you're just not getting right.
So let's remember, he didn't pick Pettin. He chose to keep Pettin around.
Right, but he kept Pettin around. So to me, that's a decision. That's a choice.
Because how many years was Pettin here? Just his first year, right? So I think that was more of a stability. Let's keep him here. That didn't work.
Sorry.
No, he was here. With LaFleur, right?
Okay. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure.
I've done a lot of drugs in my lifetime, so it's hard to say.
Uh-huh.
But either way, yeah, not good. I would assume at this point, just given the track record that's there, you put together a committee that's going to help him find the right person. I mean, I would assume other people have input in this anyways, but if he doesn't have a better group of people around him to help him make this selection, because I think this is especially, I mean, whether Aaron Rodgers stays or not, this is a team in transition at this point. And I think it's a very important hire to get right. I don't know that you say, well, you've got one more try before we're going to change something here. Like, this is the one that has to be right. Yeah.
I don't know how much say they have, because even Goody in his last press conference, when they asked him about hires, he said, he was like, that's Matt's call. Like, Matt has the final say. We'll support him what he does, but that's on Matt. I don't know if that was him just doing damage control for his own sake of like, nope, my hands are all clean of Joe Barry. That's not my decision at all. But at the end of the day, it's not him offering he might choose the guy, but then the Packers have to make sure they're giving enough money. So obviously they're having enough input in it. I don't know, but I say he gets one more chance. And if not, then do you think,
I mean, at that point you have to start having conversations around like what needs to change. Is it like what Todd said? You take the decision out of his hands. Do you is it Matt LaFleur? Like,
I didn't say take it out of his hands.
Well, you can. I
want more people helping him choose.
Okay. Because I'm kind of getting to that thought is creeping into my head more and more, and it's becoming a more real possibility to me that Matt LaFleur kind of has one more shot with the coordinator before
he was here too. He was here 19 and 20 with Matt.
Okay, that's what I thought. Katie brings up a point here. One bad D in 3 years. I don't think it's necessarily that
phrasing.
Yeah. If only you were also lucky. I don't think that it's necessarily that it's because it's bad this year. and all the other years were great. I think that the years with Pettine, the D was good in spite of what he was doing. You know what I mean? Like the players, like you had you had this, everyone, all those new first year players with the team were playing out of their mind. And so it really wasn't Pettine bringing it down. Everyone was playing outside of it. This is the first year that the offense has sucked enough that the defense can't cover their tracks with the talent that they have on the field.
I just can't wait for a defensive coordinator where the players don't have to go to him mid-season and say, hey, the stuff you're doing isn't working. This sucks. We need to change it. Like, that's like just a competent D coordinator is all I'm asking for. And I please, for the love of God, don't let it be Jim Leonard. I don't want let's try it and hope for the best. Like, I know there's always going to be a level to that in everybody, but like we're complaining that Joe Barry didn't have a good track record coming in. So our solution is let's get Jim Leonard, who has 0 NFL track record.
Jimmy, who's on your vision board? Speak it into existence.
I want Brandon Staley to get fired. Come over here. Todd Bowles, he can get fired. Come to Green Bay. Vic Fangio, if you want to. Come on, old man.
Again,
Mike
phrasing.
What were you looking at? Who were you?
I was
the old man he's about to come.
No,
on.
I couldn't look at Todd because I knew I was going to laugh harder, so I just had to do a real loop-de-loop real quick. Those are my main ones. I want Staley or Todd Bowles. I think that would be great, and both have a chance of getting fired. So let's bring them in.
And Todd Bowles, historically great first name, so I'm interested to see his deal.
I now take him off the list. I did not make that connection. I'm very upset about it that I'd missed that, and pretty much just Brandon Staley.
Okay,
yeah, terrific.
Or just offer San Francisco's D coordinator like quarterback.
He
money.
has a name.
I don't know it. Bring him.
What is it, Todd?
D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Is that true?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think it is true. It sounds right.
Todd is very good at just speaking as if he knows stuff, and so everyone believes him.
Yes, but he is right on that one. Even Chris put it in the chat. Yeah, it's D'Amico Ryans.
Okay,
that is very true. Todd has to be the best at just saying a complete bullshit lie. Todd is the most confidence you've ever heard.
He's one of he could be one of those guys that like you see on social media a week after the Super Bowl. It's like, oh my gosh, this guy snuck his way onto the field in the Super Bowl. How did everyone let him go? And Todd's just like walking around like, what's up, bro? What's up? Like, yeah, everyone ready to go do this? Yeah, that's Todd.
Depends on where it's at and who's playing.
I think another way to describe it could just be just a serial killer personality.
Psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what's up, guys?
Speaking of Todd,
DMs are open.
Who needs to pay the tab, Todd?
I'm gonna go with the Vikings on this one. To be as good as they supposedly are, as good as their record says, and to go into Detroit, a team with a losing record, and be underdogs, and to not have that motivate you enough to come out of there with a win and help the Packers. What do you?
And not just that, but they had I forget who was it that on the Vikings that guaranteed a win.
Jalen Reagor.
Was it Reagor? That's right.
He hasn't been there long enough. Who the fuck talked to him?
Yeah.
You've been here 5 minutes. Let's ask you some questions.
He's not used to the culture of Minnesota yet of like just fucking up at the best times possible.
Right. Yeah, that they're a fraud, right?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, it's just they have
guaranteed at this point.
They're not great, but it takes skill and luck to be good in the NFL. This season they have luck. They're winning these close games that they had like the Bills game is a perfect example. The Jets game, they should have lost both of those. And they somehow Josh Allen fumbles on the 1-inch line, and the guy from the Jets, the wide receiver, dropped the ball in the end zone that would have put them ahead. Like they just have luck on their side, but shit, we had that in 2019, and I would not say we're frauds. I just say we're winning ugly. So that's what we said for a whole season. So that's why I feel like we can give them shit because they're the Vikings. But
what I'm really looking forward to is the fucking terrific way that they are going to lose in the playoffs. I'm going to love it. It's going to be great. Like the odds of them winning a Super Bowl are so low that I'm not even concerned with that.
The same as the Packers, honestly. In my mind right now, the Packers and the Vikings
it's a coin flip.
Super Bowl.
1,000% coin flip. Eli, thanks for stopping by, my guy. And the off chance that happens, it's Minnesota, so it's only going to get talked about for like 30 seconds before the rest of the world moves on.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been going through and unfollowing a bunch of any Vikings fans I've been following because they've been getting real annoying on the Pro Bowl retweets. So I probably won't even hear, like, if they make the Super Bowl, I'm just not going to watch anything football related during that time frame. So I won't know. It's literally not going to affect my life. But if they lose, I'm going to see that, and it's going to be amazing.
What would you say is
I feel like a Bears fan right now. Like, oh God, I don't care what we do as long as the Packers. This is fucking awful take. It feels loserish to even say. I fucking hate it. I take it back. Me pay the tab. This is fucking garbage.
Okay, but what would be a better way for them to lose? Like just right away, first round of the playoffs, or get to the NFC Championship game and lose on a last second play? Like
First
what
round
would you?
First round? Miss a field goal in the first round of the playoffs.
First round.
That would
because what I don't want to happen is I don't want it to get to, because they can luck out. They can just keep lucking, and I want them to lose as early as possible and as bad as possible.
Yeah, lose to I hope the Lions get in and just fucking whoop their ass the first round. That'd be great.
Oh my
God. Or the
God.
Packers. That'd be even better. Them shit talking all year. Somehow we sneak into the playoffs and we get to face the Vikings week 1 or the first round and beat them.
And hit Christian Watson on the first play of the game for
huge touchdown.
Long-ass touchdown.
All right, that's your vision board, Todd. I have my defensive coordinator one. You have that one.
I got more important shit on my vision board. Sorry, bud.
Keep it in your pants, Todd.
Aggressively accurate.
I know. They don't try to hide it. It's just different Playboy ads fucking stuck up on your wall.
All right. So, guys, this week it's the first week of what?
They're vintage.
It's collector items.
For the articles.
It's print. Nobody has print media anymore.
4 weeks to see what happens with the rest of this season here. I am of the mindset that I don't want them to lose on Monday. But if they're not going to make the playoffs, which the odds are not in favor of them making the playoffs.
Nope.
I would much rather them lose the very first week and be eliminated rather than take this all the way, win the next 4 games, blow their draft out of complete hell, and miss the playoffs because of one game in the last week or 2 of the season, personally, in my mind.
Like that's worst case scenario, yeah. But if you just, like we said last week, you got to put yourself in position to make the play. Like I would still want them to win those 4 games and just have that chance at the end. Because Todd said this last week, it just takes a team to get hot. Like if they get hot at this time and it's the right time, they can go on a fucking run with it. Because as much shit as we gave him all season, if Aaron Rodgers is clicking and playing up to his potential, or not his potential, what he's shown the last few seasons, like we could win a Super Bowl. It just things have to go in the right place. So
I just don't know if we have the dogs for it. You know what I mean? Like
only one way to find out, and that's to get there.
You got to root for the playoffs, and then you go from there.
Feed the dogs, see what happens.
Or don't feed them, so they're very angry.
Wow, and
but
hungry.
Every other season, it feels like I know going in, if we're getting into the playoffs, which I mean it was pretty much guaranteed the last 10 years. I know what this team is going to rely on. I don't know who this team is going to rely on offensively.
Give you 3 names: Aaron Jones, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs. Sprinkle in a little Lazard, just a little bit.
Can you?
I'm not worried. Like I'm more worried about the defense in the playoffs than I am on the offense. The offense has been clicking in the last 2 weeks.
The defense. That was the next thing. Is like losing Rashawn Gary. That felt like the end of the season for me.
Yes.
I was like, even if we make it to the playoffs, I don't trust a defense without Rashawn Gary pass rushing to win a Super Bowl.
Losing that whole Lions game just felt like the end of the season. Like like you lose the Lions, you lose Rashawn Gary, just everyone's pissed off. Like that really did seem like the end of the season. But then they beat the Cowboys. Well, that's the shitty part. Really, the only hope that I think I still have is that we beat the Cowboys, because really the only other team we beat after that was the fucking Bears, which we should have. So I don't know. I think I'm having Stockholm syndrome now, I think. Now really diving into it. I'm just captive by the Packers.
I think Danny's got it here. It's not Dobbs or Lazard. Dylan's the third person on offense that it's going to run through. If they're going to make a run down the stretch, it's going to be Jones and Dillon in the backfield, opening things up for Watson and the rest of those guys.
Yeah. Who fucking
Can
knows?
they burst the passer? Can Dillon play a little both ways?
I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch
I was waiting for it.
Okay.
So I just started smirking. I was like, I can't wait. All right. But like you said, we have to win next week for any of this to really even matter. Like, what do you think our chances are against the Rams? Good? Great?
I'd say great. Then again, coming off a bye, like
we suck out of the bye.
LaFleur coming off a bye is so bad.
Yeah.
And it's an extra long. Maybe that's the thing. That Sunday, they're bad, but they got an extra day.
Yeah. So it throws them.
So Sunday would have been the bad day.
Yep.
So they skipped that day.
Yep. So maybe what they do is they do like a full-on dress rehearsal. They have people show up wearing Rams gear. They make the guys go through a game and get blown out by a bunch of just Joe Schmoes. And then they go, just kidding. The game's tomorrow night, but I bet that feels embarrassing. Let's go back out there. That's got to be it.
It's a good plan. What do you think it is out of the bye, though? Do you think they just overthink it going into it, or do you like? Because we're not great out of the bye.
Honestly, here's my thing. I think this year if this bye had happened a couple of weeks earlier, it would have been perfect. Because I think I'm not even worried about the bye stuff this year anymore. Because to me, this is a completely different feel for the season. Before coming out of the bye, it was you're dealing with the expectations of the season. You're dealing with the keeping the high caliber of play up that you've been playing and maintaining the season and getting the second half of the season underway so we can get the number one seed and make the run for the Super Bowl. This year, it's like, okay, playoffs start this week. It feels just like a different mindset for the team. And so if it was a different scenario where the Packers could win out and just make the playoffs, it feels like that. You know what I mean? Where like you just there's no pressure anymore. This team is already dead. There's no pressure. So they're going to come out and they're just going to play free and loose, I feel like.
I think
Not
Baker's
dead yet.
What do you say?
Not dead yet.
That's right.
Yeah. Baker's going to come out and just top himself from last week and do a
That is what I'm worried about.
Baker was
99-yard touchdown.
Yeah. Baker is going to throw the ball all over this field. If they're going to win, it's going to be a shootout.
No, I don't think we're going to be in any type of shootout. It's going to have to just.
Who did we play after the bye last week or last year?
I don't know. It might have been the Rams.
I thought was it the Bears?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That'd be a great question for a producer to look up.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, what the fuck, Nick?
Boom, Bears.
Bears.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
We could score 45 against the Bears.
Right.
Easily. Oh, we did in that game. We were at that game, Jimmy, and we saw to it that happened.
Yes. You are welcome.
I just think I think Ramsey and Alexander are both having this weird down year for both of them. And I think they're both going to get torched. I think it's going to be a high scoring, high flying game. Everyone thinks it's going to be cold and they're going to try to run the ball. No, they're going to throw the ball around and it's going to be amazing. 55-50.
You're a fucking
Final
idiot.
score.
No, it's gonna be like 21-17. I'd be even surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we only scored like
21-17, the most common football score guess ever.
Do you have
So
facts
sorry.
to back that up?
What?
Do you have facts to back that up?
No, I don't.
Here, I'll give you 23-16. Is that better? Does that tickle your
Sure.
fancy?
Sure. Missed extra point in there somewhere. Speaking of tickling fancies, do you guys want to jump into bar bets?
Yeah, let's wrap this shit up.
Let's do it. And apropos mentioning Jair and Jalen Ramsey, who gets the first interception of the game? Is it Jair, Ramsey, or is it a push? Nobody gets an interception. First time we've had a push available in the bar bets. Jimmy, I'll start with you.
I'm gonna go Jair, 3 Bakhtiaris. Rodgers is smart enough not to throw at Ramsey unless he 100% knows it's going to be a completion. Baker's a fucking idiot, so he's going to just chuck it wherever he thinks he can fit the ball. And I think Jair will have opportunities to do it. And he just had one last week, so he's going to just keep going with that success. After he gets burned for like a big touchdown by a practice squad receiver, he'll get an interception the next one.
Skoranek or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, Skoranek will burn Jair.
That was a lot of points to bring up for going 3 Bakhtiaris.
Thanks, man. 3 Bakhtiaris, 3 points. That's all I was. 3-point system.
Yeah, I'm going to go 5 Bakhtiaris on this. 1 point, Baker Mayfield.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's all you need.
It's a good 1 point.
I'll make it 1-1-1, a 3-pack here. I'll say 4 Bakhtiaris, and it's a push.
Coward.
I'm not sure anybody gets an interception, or at least these two.
Fair.
I think it's a big Rasul Douglas day.
I don't know
About
what
that?
the fuck about the season thought gave you that idea, but maybe.
He had that
Well,
one game that he almost made some nice plays.
See, you guys are all zigging, so I'm going to zag.
Okay. Strategy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who is going to have more yards for this Packer offense on Monday? Aaron Jones or Christian Watson? Total yards. Total offensive yards. Todd?
5 Bakhtiaris, Aaron Jones. He does too much. He's finally getting the touches he needs to get. Christian, the only way Christian does it is if he has multiple big plays, which he's more than capable of, but so is Aaron Jones.
Okay.
I'm with Todd.
Okay.
With Todd. 5 Bakhtiaris, Aaron Jones. Threaten the pass and run game. Watson, I know he had that end around last week for a big or 2 weeks ago for a big touchdown, but I don't see that happening again this one.
I mean, I hate to be contrarian. I'm not doing it on purpose, but I'm going to go 5 Bakhtiaris, and I'm going to say Christian Watson. I think it's a big play Monday. Big play Monday.
I don't think you can say you can hate it when just like 2 minutes ago you're like you're zigging, I'm zagging. Like that's your stick.
Well, I'm not trying to do it. I'm saying I'm not trying to do it on purpose. I'm not trying to be Mr. Contrarian.
All right, zag nuts.
I like that. Zag nut bar. And our final bar bet, gentlemen. Argentina or France? Who are you taking?
5 Bakhtiaris, Argentina.
All right, Jimmy.
I don't care. It's a draw. No one wins.
There's no draws.
No one gets the
No,
World
there's
Cup.
no draws.
France, just to go opposite of Todd.
That would be exciting though. Get penalty kicks again.
We could get penalty
in the
kicks.
final.
Could have a World Cup decided by. It's happened plenty of times before. I'm gonna go 5 Bakhtiaris and give me Messi, give me King Leo for the win. So
I hope the stadium blows up and no one can play, and it's just a question
goodness.
mark. But no one's in the stadium. Sorry, I don't want any more.
They
deaths.
have so many stadiums built right
There's
now.
so many
Jimmy
other
doesn't know.
stadiums.
Yeah,
All of
that's
them.
fine. They'll just move it down the street. It's
crumble.
Mm-hmm.
We should also RIP Mike Leach.
Shout out to Big Homie, man.
Tough to watch that one. He made staying up late betting on Pac-12 football fun.
Yeah.
He was. There's a great story about him, where he was coach. He was an assistant coach with Texas or Oklahoma. I think it was Texas.
So is Dan.
Um,
Dan's more on the domestic side.
I was gonna say he's pro domestic.
I'm trying to eulogize Mike Leach here, guys. But there's a famous story about how he was an assistant coach and he wrote up a full workup of 20 plays that they were going to run, the scripted plays.
Yep. When he was in Oklahoma.
Was it Oklahoma?
Yeah, he was in Oklahoma. They were playing Texas.
Right.
And he
basically planted it.
Had a player drop it in front of them, and they went up 17-0. Yeah.
And they lost the game. I think they lost the game. But fuck, I love that stuff. That's so cool. Yes, Todd is the only person that likes freedom and America. Gentlemen, until next week, shout out to everyone in the chat for coming and hanging out with us. Always appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you like and subscribe on the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Follow us on Twitter at Lombardi's Bar. Follow the network at Game On Wisconsin. You follow all of us at our little handles right there in the bubbles as well. On that note, for Jimmy, for Nick, for producer Nick hanging back at home, I'm a bartender Nick Hotnick saying cheers, everybody. And as always, go Pack Go.